Here's the reviews on the movie Woman Walk Ahead. I'm the angry guy, and I will tell you like it is. If I had a nationality pick, it would be Native American. Standing proud, respecting Mother Earth, the belief of taking from nature, but also giving back to nature, and owning worldly possessions is not relative. The true story in this film, Woman Walk Ahead, is not for everyone. Reason I selected this movie is because the film was about Sitting Bull, and Jessica Michelle Chastain was one of the main characters. Miss Chastain is an American actress and film producer. To me, she always plays parts in movies as a strong-willed woman. I was slow to be a fan of Miss Chastain. The first film I noticed her in was Miss Stone, and then Molly's Game. I know she was in The Help, The Martian, Zookeeper's Wife, and other movies. But recently I realized she is an excellent actress worthy of an Oscar. Sam Rockwell has been in a lot of good movies, but always playing a weird asshole. He's good at it. But he was casted wrong for this film. Some of his credits are Assassinations of Jesse James, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and The Green Mile. Michael Greyeyes plays Sitting Bull. He is a Canadian actor, choreographer, director, and educator. He's a Plains Cree from the Muskeg Lake First Nation. His father was from the Muskeg Lake First Nation. His mother was from the Sweetgrass First Nation. Jessica plays Catherine Weldon, a portrait painter from 1890s Brooklyn, New York. She traveled to Dakota to paint a portrait of Sitting Bull and becomes embroiled in Lakota people's struggles over the rights of their land. Weldon painted 4 portraits of Sitting Bull, of which 2 are known to have survived. This is a spoiler alert. I wish I had this information before watching the film Woman Walked Ahead. After Catherine Weldon divorced from her husband, she became committed to the cause of the Native Americans. Upon the death of her mother, she inherited some money. In the summer of 1889, Caroline Weldon traveled to Dakota Territory to fulfill her dream of living among the Sioux. Miss Weldon wanted to aid the Sioux in their struggle to fight the U.S. government attempting to divide the large reservation into small allotments. The Native Americans who accept allotments would live separately from the tribe, but would be granted United States citizenship. That doesn't sound right. This was called Dawes Act. Also, the act was to take vast portions of the Great Sioux Reservation to the purpose of using and opening land up for white settlers, and to create 2 new states, North Dakota and South Dakota. Miss Weldon befriended Sitting Bull, acting as his secretary, interpreter, and advocate. Indian agent James McCullen, who was there to convince the Sioux people to sign the Dawes Act. But Miss Weldon's confrontation and open defiance against McCullen was not healthy. McCullen initiated a smear campaign on Miss Weldon. In the summer of 1890, the Native American dance, the Ghost Dance, was sweeping the West. The Native American believed the Ghost Dance would reunite the living with spirits of the dead to fight on their behalf, make the white colonists leave, and bring peace, prosperity, and unity to Native American peoples throughout the region. Miss Weldon warned Sitting Bull doing this dance would give the government an excuse to harm and destroy the Sioux Nation. Sitting Bull turned against Miss Weldon, and plus her son became sick. So in November, Miss Weldon decided to leave. The event she predicted did happen. Sitting Bull was murdered, and the slaughter of Sioux Nation was the Wounded Knee Massacre. The number of dead was over 300. The Illuminati was controlling the masses even back then. What do I mean, the Illuminati? I mean, in February 1942, President Roosevelt signed an executive order to relocation of Americans of Japanese ancestry to concentration camps in the interior of the United States. Over 127,000 United States citizens were imprisoned during World War II. Their crime? Being of Japanese ancestry. Almost 2/3 of the interns were Japanese Americans, meaning they were born in the United States. You say it can't happen now. Well, I'm not so sure, because just in the short distance past, nearly 2,000 migrant children were separated from their families while crossing the U.S.-Mexican border on the administration's zero policy. That means an average of 45 migrant children are being ripped from their families per day and placed in detention centers on their own. Karl Marx said, "History repeats itself, first as a tragedy, second as a farce." I hope some knowledge was gained by watching this review. As always, if you are still watching at this point, I am humbled, and I thank you.